Please, please, please. You are the you are the boss. You are the boss.
चलिए सर,
Please go on.
ईट स्लीप ड्रिंक क्रिकेट में एक शानदार दिन में मतलब आप सबका स्वागत है। हमारे साथ है दो दिग्गज, एक है अमित रानड़े, एक है अभिजीत दास पटनायक। सो बातें यह है कि अमित रानड़े साहब, आपने पिछले बार पॉडकास्ट में आके दो हंगामा किया। एक आपने चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी का भयंकर खुलासा किया, जिसके लिए आपको भी बहुत सारा मैसेजेस गया, मुझको भी मैसेजेस आया कि ये क्या चल क्या रहा है करके। एंड
हाँ.
सबसे ज्यादा व्यूज आए हमारे इस पॉडकास्ट को। सो आपका आभार व्यक्त करते हैं। और एंड इसी तरह आज भी कुछ खुलासे करेंगे, यही उम्मीद है आपसे, स्कूप्स जिसको बोलते हैं। एंड मिस्टर अभिजीत दास पटनायक वो इंसान है जो इंडिया 3-0 हारने के बाद भी वो डटे रहे कि बीजीटी इंडिया ही उठाएगा करके। अब वो पता नहीं वो किस तरीके से है। एंड ये वही आदमी है जिसने 2-0 था, हम लोगों ने कहा नहीं एक मैच तो इंडिया निकाल लेगा। ही ऑल्सो सेड कि नहीं ये पिटेंगे, 3-0 भी होगा लेकिन बीजीटी पे इस पे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा। तो ऐसे महान लोगों के साथ मैं बैठा हूं तो मैं तो बस सुनना ही चाहूंगा। सो पहले तो मैं अमित रानड़े से स्टार्ट करता हूं कि सर आज का दिन जो है, पर्थ में जीता, ऑप्टस स्टेडियम में 4 मैच हुआ, चारों के चारों ऑस्ट्रेलिया जीता है। आपके इमोशंस क्या हैं, व्हाट डू यू फील? अरे बाप रे, ये तो अमित साहब तो फ्रीज हो गए। पता नहीं फ्रीज हो गए तो अभिजीत आप ये सवाल ले लीजिए अब।
So, honestly, I was not surprised. And I'll just correct you. I have said that I will hold my predictions till the first 2 days of the test match. I maintained that. And I noticed the predictions जो बाकी लोगों ने किया है. Only Sunil Gavaskar has predicted pre-series that India will win. Yuvraj Singh has also predicted India will. Every other person on an average has put 3-1 to Australia. I want to go around and say that India will win this series with a margin which is unthinkable. It is not a margin which we could be, normal people will be talking. It will be historical. I have no doubts on that. What to say about Perth? Of course, when India were 150 all out, I was very nervous. And, मुझे लगा कि so I started counting. That's my way of counting कि हर 15 रन में एक एक ऑस्ट्रेलियन विकेट गिराना है. And then Bumrah proved that he's better than Marshall. The rest is history. I think that spell, when they were 19 for 3 and all, we knew we are in this match and there's going to be a very long summer for Australia, not for India, for Australia. So after that, I never thought India will lose this test match. Once they started chipping away, taking wickets, even a 20-run lead after scoring 150 is a big psychological thing. Boss, a foreign team has come, a subcontinent team has come, and you got them all out for 150, but they took a lead also. I knew from there on, India will just race ahead in this match. Of course, we never expected India to score 500, 600. It's been one of the most dominating wins we've ever done in the history of cricket. When you talk of Adelaide 2003, when you talk of these matches, initial matches when we started winning this century, you will talk of 2, 3 heroes. But as the years went by, our number of heroes kept increasing. In this match, this particular match, I think apart from Jurel and to some extent Particle, everybody else contributed. That Nitish Reddy is leaving Perth with a test average of 79, by the way. His 41, which he made in first innings, is worth double that number. It's a terrific thing he did. Mohammad Siraj has taken out 4 Australian top order batsmen in either innings. Everybody has contributed in a big way. Even the Particles played roughly 95 balls in this test match. That 95 balls is more than Labuschagne and the two openers, Khwaja and McSweeney. McSweeney is basically Duck McSweeney. He's Bumrah's duck. He's just a walking wicket. All those three batsmen combined se zyada balls Padikkal ne khela. Australia will have sleepless nights from here. And there's a big gap next 10 days. Their media will come hard on them.
विल कम टू
And
दैट,
they'll
विल कम
really
टू
be
दैट।
worried.
मैं उसके बारे में आना चाहता हूँ। अमित सर, आपसे पहले विल टेक सम योर इनिशियल इमोशंस।
So like I said, when we lost against New Zealand, for some reason, I was very confident about the BGT tour. I think, like you rightly said, I think for two reasons. I think one is I think this the mentality of our team has changed. There is no doubt about it. I mean, you look at a team getting out at 150. Maybe you go back in the 90s, and I think on the first day itself, the writing would be on the wall. I mean, we would never come back from there. But this is the difference that you see in the team. And today, when there was a lot of contemplation going on. There were a lot of discussions going on that who should be the man of match. Yeah, Jaiswal, kind of played a brilliant innings. But I think that one man who actually brought us back was the right choice for the man of the match. Because when you are out, when you're at 150 and when you kind of get that kind of a spell, that is what gets the team back. So I think for me, this man has led from the front. And he's just 30. So, I see a very strong leadership quality in him. He has the right, kind of an understanding, and he gives the respect to the right people. He balances it out well. He leads the the young generation in the right direction. So I think India is in good hands. I think that is what really is very inspiring. I mean, when you look at a team like Australia, which is kind of are like giants in their house. I mean, you look at their test record against any nation, and they have won more test matches than they have lost. I mean, that's a stupendous record to talk about. I mean, not many countries will have that kind of record. To go and do this to them, after getting out at 150, is just unbelievable. I mean, your top order, if it cannot score more than 50 runs, the top four Australians have not got more than 50 both the innings put together. So you can imagine the plight that they have gone through. So I think Abhijit is absolutely right. The media is going to come very hard on them. It's going to be a very long tour for them more than us. The whole mentality is summed up. I think the difference between the team of 90s and our team today was summed up when Hazelwood was asked this question yesterday to say that, do you think you can come back from here? And he said, I'm already thinking about Adelaide. So I think that for me just sums up the Indian approach versus, what Australia is going.
ग्रेट ग्रेट नो वंडरफुल कमेंट एंड आई थिंक मेरा तो एक ही इमोशन रहेगा इस पूरे इसमें कि वन आई एग्री विद बुमराह वाज द मैन ऑफ द मैच एंड दैट विकेट ऑफ लाबुशेन सी कमिंस केम इन द सेकंड इनिंग्स टू प्रोटेक्ट लाबुशेन लेकिन वो जिस तरीके से डरते हुए लाबुशेन जस्ट वॉकड इन ना उफ मतलब मुझे तो ऐसे दिल पे एक ठंडक बैठा एंड द वे ही ट्रैप्ड हिम वाज लाइक आउटस्टैंडिंग मतलब एंड so I'm now going to the second topic, which both of you touched upon. So what has happened is that first, when 150 पे आया तो ऑस्ट्रेलिया मीडिया ना मतलब ऑन कमेंट्री दे सेड कि इंडिया कैसा मतलब न्यूजीलैंड के बाद और डूबते ही जाएगा करके सडनली उसी दिन लास्ट सेशन में 7 विकेट्स निकल गया दे स्टिल थॉट कि लोअर ऑर्डर उनको बचा लेगा करके नहीं बचा पाया एंड देन जायसवाल दैट इनिंग्स वाज लाइक ही वाज कमांडिंग एंड ही रियली मेड श्योर दैट ऑस्ट्रेलिया पे वेरी 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 बैड बाउंसर दिया बाउंसर को मारा इनफैक्ट ही स्लेज्ड आल्सो ही टोल्ड स्टार कि तू स्लो डाल रहा है मेरे से थोड़ा फास्ट डाल करके वो मतलब वो लेवल तक चला गया एंड देन कोहली सबलाइम सेंचुरी सो ऑस्ट्रेलिया स्टार्टेड अप्रिशिएटिंग एंड दे जस्ट गेव इन टू इंडिया कि क्या खेला है करके टू द फाइनल सेशन जहां पे ना ऑस्ट्रेलिया के साथ उसकी टीम बदलनी चाहिए ये होना चाहिए वो होना चाहिए मतलब एक तरीके से रोना धोने पे आ गया था एंड इरिटेट होने गए एंड आज का तो आई थिंक टुडेस मॉर्निंग न्यूज़पेपर ऑलरेडी हैड कि लबुशेन को ड्रॉप करो करके कि उसका मुंह बहुत चलता है बैट नहीं चल रहा उसका करके बिकॉज यस्टरडेज विकेट वाज लाइक इट वाज मतलब द मोस्ट हॉरिबल वे ऑफ गेटिंग आउट टू समबडी राइट सो आई थिंक फ्रॉम अ शिफ्ट ऑफ इंडिया विन इट्स बिकम लाइक एन ऑस्ट्रेलियन समर जैसे आपने कहा कि इट्स बिकम अ वेरी लॉन्ग समर फॉर देम मतलब ऐसा लग रहा है कि अब करेंगे क्या करके एंड बाय द वे दे एक्सेप्ट वो स्कॉट बॉलैंड है जो रिप्लेस कर सकता है चार वो बॉलर फास्ट बॉलर्स में आ सकता है एंड आई थिंक मार्क हैरिस है वो जो एक बैट्समैन आ सकता है इसके अलावा उनके पास कोई विकल्प ज्यादा है नहीं उनके पास दे हैव टू गो बैक टू देयर ए टीम एंड गेट सम रूकी ओनली एंड रूकी के साथ क्या हुआ वो मैक्सवेनी मैकडोनल्ड जो भी है वो उसके साथ क्या हुआ आप लोग ने देखा सो सो व्हाट डू यू थिंक आई मीन व्हाट आई वांट टू गो टू द फ्यूचर व्हाट एडलाइड है एडलाइड में क्या कर सकते हैं and how do you think this entire tour is going to happen what do you think what are the things which is going to happen I also want to bring to the point that many people have started suggesting why change this winning combination शर्मा गिल को एक और मैच बिठाओ और इन लोगों को देख लो क्या करना है करके some people said गिल को लेके आओ शर्मा आ जाएगा because he's captain but उसको नंबर 5 या 6 में भेजो because राहुल played that gritty innings in as an opener so maybe you want to mix all of this I want to hear a little bit about Australia I want to hear what do you think India should do in the next 4 matches not Adelaide test Adelaide next segment में लेंगे आप so पहले मैं आपसे स्टार्ट करता हूँ अभिजीत आपसे ही स्टार्ट करता हूँ
So I'll just since you asked what Australia should do I'll continue with what Amit mentioned कि हेजलवुड को जब पूछा गया था So I didn't see that Hazelwood interview, but Aaj commentators were talking that there is possibly a problem in the Australian camp, because when Hazelwood was asked this question, will you chase them or something, he gave a very sarcastic comment about the batting. He said, you need to go and ask the batsman what they're going to do. So the commentators have read a bit too much into that, and they said possibly there's a problem in both camps, that batsmen are underperforming and bowlers can't bowl them, or something. But net there is a problem in the Australian camp. ये तो हमें 50 साल में hardly कभी सुनने को मिलता है. It gives us a lot of happiness. Now coming to Bumrah captaincy, Bumrah captained well, but I think Bumrah the bowler bowled even better than what Bumrah the captain. Bumrah's bowling has hidden, even if there were flaws in his captaincy. The other thing which hid the flaws in his captaincy is the Indian team stays together. If you see, Agarkar deciding to stay back, boss, we are together. It gives a message. इंटरनली जो भी हो सकता है, इंटरनली अगर कर गंभीर की बंबू कर रहा है कि तू गलत करता है, पॉसिबल है, बट एक्सटर्नली इट सीज की बॉस द टीम इज टुगेदर. नाउ अमित, नो आई थिंक राजीव मेंशन्ड दैट जायसवाल बोलता है स्टार्क को, गॉस योर बॉलिंग टू स्लो. क्यों बोला? क्योंकि स्टार्क ने हर्षित राणा को बोला था कि आई बोल फास्टर देन यू. ओके, सो जायसवाल इज एक्चुअली अ न्यूबी इन इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेट. आई थिंक 1-2 साल ही हुआ है. हर्षित राणा इज, बट ही स्टैंड्स अप to talk for Harshit Rana, the debutant. How dare you tell him that he bowls slow? मैं तेरे को मारूंगा और तेरे को बोलूंगा भी, dude, you are slow. You are supposedly a legend bowler जिसने वर्ल्ड कप जीता है, इतना कुछ किया है, but I am telling you, you bowl too slow. So it gives a clear indication the team is very together. People are there for each other. And if you see the team which Bumrah came out with, it was a very sad team on paper, to tell you the truth. We did a podcast before and we said was Padikkal and Jurel. Everybody agreed on Padikkal and Jurel because there was no other alternative. Only Sarfaraz Khan was the other alternative. You have your stars injured or made to sit, which is Ashwin, Jadeja, Gill, Rohit. 4 stars sat out. The stars who were playing were out of form. Rahul was out of form. Your Shiraj was out of form. Your Kohli was out of form. With that team, we won the test match. And India typically gets better as the Australian or the English summer or the South African summers go. So India will continue to get better. I have no doubts on that. I think team changes and all is, maybe it needs a separate podcast, but I would think that we need to continue our grooming process. The Harshit Rana, the Reddies, aside Jurel, all of them contributed in their own way. Padikkal actually was very compact. Both the times he got out was to very good balls. He didn't get out slashing or lifting the ball or anything. He put a price tag on his wicket. Even Jurel also, they were outfoxed by a bowler, which is possible. Jo ho sakta hai. I would not like to stop their grooming process because, if you drop them now, next you'll again make them play 6 months later at England, which is very unfair on them. Ideally, these players should have got a lot of home series like versus Bangladesh, versus New Zealand, which was supposed to be easy series for us. And I would, let's not forget the reason we lost to Bangladesh. The top 3 reasons will be Rohit, Gill and Virat. If your opener is failing regularly, it puts pressure on the rest of the batting lineup. We were playing on ranked turners and Rohit was getting out to pace bowler. The only New Zealand pacers who were taking a wicket was of Rohit Sharma. So all these questions, I think, are legitimate. There is a huge argument that we should continue with the team, barring 1 or 2 changes. Maybe Ashwin for Sundar because of the track. You make changes based on the track. Don't make changes based on stardom is what I would suggest. Rajiv.
Right, good points, and I'm in complete agreement with you. Amit sir, same question आपको भी. What do you think about the Australian camp? What do you think about the Indian camp? What do you see the series poised to go? Where do you see our series poised to go?
So I think one place where I think differed, and I think even we had that conversation when we had a podcast on Champions Trophy. I think if given a choice, and I agree with Abhijit that Padikkal and these people should have got a chance earlier. But given the magnitude of the stress and the whole occasion of BGT coming up, remember I was telling you that I would have probably put a Jadeja inside, as against a Padikkal. I mean, that was the only one selection that I probably had a question mark on, because for me, I think Jadeja is that kind of a player who, brings in that kind of a batting depth exactly when you like it. And for me, right now in this test match, Padikkal was like here and there kind of a scenario for me. I mean, he came, he went. He kind of stood on for a little while. I think that extra edge in the bowling, of course, Sundar gave you that, no doubt. I think he did a great job, no doubt about it. But that was the only one disconnect I had. I think Jurel, I somehow backed the guy because he's got the right temperament, and he will be kind of only getting better from here. But one one caution that I want to throw here is that I don't want us to get a little complacent and overconfident. We must celebrate, no doubt about it. But Adelaide has somehow also given us some nightmarish experiences. I mean, we can't. I can still remember that Hazelwood standing with that pink ball in his hand and making a mockery out of us with getting us out on 36. That has actually happened there in the Adelaide Oval. So my only and it's going to be a pink ball. So making that adjustment in the next test is also. I'm not saying it's impossible. I think today's generation they are used to it, but still adjustment will need to be done. So I just want to throw some caution to the wind and take this next one a little bit more easy, beat them in this one, and I think then we are through. I mean, we are going to be on a super roll. They are already down. We should not let them come back. But that is my overall assessment on India. As far as Australia is concerned, the way I know them, they are also like India, where they will not panic right now. They do back their players. I think, see, one thing is Smith has been getting out LBW for the last 3 innings in a row now. And he's just been getting plumb. He's probably working on making some changes to his technique. I think they're working on that. Khwaja, let's not underestimate him. He knows the Indians as good as anyone. He's a brilliant player when it comes on his day. So I'm just wanting to be a little bit more cautious. I agree with Avijit to a large extent that we should go with majority of the same team. I think they have their tails up. And I think when they are in this kind of a scenario, we should not disturb them. I won't be even surprised if Rohit decides to drop himself. See, Rohit is that kind of a player. He is a kind of a guy I know who is, if I have to say that there is one selfless guy in the Indian team to the core, it is him. And we have
True.
seen this from the time that he played the World Cup. He just doesn't care a damn about his personal goals. So I won't be too surprised if, you may not see him playing in the next match. It may not happen.
Yeah.
I'm not saying. So that's my submission, Rajiv. Over to you.
Right, right. Now, so to all the viewers also, some of the people also ask me why Padikkal. So I want to give some context here. When Rohit announced that he's not going to play the first test and second test, probably both he may not play and all the stuff. First, definitely he may not play. That time, Abhimanyu Ishwaran was supposed to open the innings and it was well thought of. Everything was fine. Now, what happened is that we lost 3-0. And that's when the panic bells started ringing in and they thought we may probably not have so many batsmen. In between, KL Rahul went through an injury, and then Gill had the injury the next day. So then what happened? They had to look up is the India A players who are playing at Australia. What happened there, and then they take. Abhimanyu Ishwaran did not perform. Rahul was also he was not in the best of form, but they thought that overseas he's the best batter. That's why he was kept in hold. Then Padikkal also made 188. So what happened? So they asked Ruturaj Gaikwad, who's having, I mean, though he did not perform well, but he has some stake in the domestic circuit. So he was asked to stay back. Padikkal was asked to stay back. And these guys, Padikkal and Harshit Rana, did the best in the nets. When they put people on the nets again and again, these are the people who did the best. And that's why what happened, Rituraj, though he stayed back, Padikkal was the guy who was added on to the squad because they
Hey, Rajiv.
already. No, I'm not. I'm just
Hey,
saying for everybody's understanding, I'm not
no.
defending his
I think it's
selection.
no. I was asking something in line with the same thing. I wanted to know, and maybe Abhijit can also answer that. Is there a rule that if somebody has just played for the India main team, they can't go to India A? Because I just somehow was surprised about Sarfaraz not going there in Australia.
He
So
played
that
the
was a
third test,
question
na?
mark in my.
He played the third
No,
test.
that's what I'm asking. So is there a is there a like kind of a thing that if somebody has just represented your country in this thing, you can't play for India A? Because I wanted to see Sarfaraz a little bit more on those kind of pitches. See, he's a proven run getter in the domestic league. I think he scores like a machine.
Yeah.
On Indian wickets, he's a no-brainer. But I think at some point of time, you have to also take a chance with him in some of these fast pitches. You never know. I think he has a grit. He's quite a strong guy. So I was just wondering, I mean, why was he not sent to India if he was not playing these test matches?
He could
Any
have.
idea on that?
Actually, Rahul went and played the second test in the India versus Australia A.
Hmm.
Safraz could have been sent, but I guess they were already decided on the fact that Safraz is a good batsman. He's already in that league where he'll play. But all this panic set in when the 3-0 happened and they did not
Yeah.
play. And then once they went to, they all practiced in Waka. They practiced in Waka and then the last day they practiced in Optus. So what happened is there the results were totally different. Harshit Rana playing ahead of Akash Deep there is a story to it, right? I mean, how come you drop Akash Deep who's bowling better than Siraj, right? But then he was dropped. Siraj was played because he had that, obviously Australia में उसका एक record है, so they wanted to keep the there, and then they took Harshit Rana because he was bowling the bouncers very well. So finally, it did not come to bounces. It actually came to line and length in this match. It was a totally different ball and game. But the fact is that Gautam Gambhir, Morne Maukal had a way of thinking, and that's how these players got introduced. So it works. So we are all speaking great about all these things, right? If it had not worked, यही हम लोग बैठ के इधर पे उन लोगों को डांट रहे होते थे. But that's what it is. It's a game, and we all have to understand that. Now I'm coming to the last question in this segment, and then we move on to a couple of other things also. Is Adelaide Test, what are the changes you want to see in the Indian team? And do you see something happening with the Australian team? So, Amit, I'll start with you and then go to Abhijit.
Yeah, so like I said, Adelaide, typically, if you look at the history of Adelaide Oval, it's a pitch which has always been a run feast. You know, you have had people scoring brilliantly well. You have had double centuries. You have got Sehwag making merry out of his theatrics there, and you have had Rahul Dravid kind of hitting that double century at Adelaide Oval. So I think it's a typical pitch where the first 2 days it will be very bowling friendly. There will be fast bowling. You will get a good pace. You will get a good nip, and you will start seeing the pitch deteriorating with spinners coming into play on day 3, day 4. So it's that kind of a scenario, and that is why I probably believe that Jadeja will come in because he's that kind of a bowler who can create a lot of problem for batsmen, especially if the wicket is getting difficult, and when he starts bowling those rippers on the leg stump and coming in the middle, he can be lethal. So that's one change that I see. Rohit, I have a question mark, so I don't want to comment on that because I'm struggling to figure out who goes out. I really don't know right now. I mean, Padikkal is one person who probably will make a replacement if at all Rohit comes in, but I don't see a bowler getting replaced. I think they will go with Sundar. At the most, if Padikkal continues to play, then probably Jadeja will come in for Sundar. So those are my two cents on India. I don't see too much of change happening as far as Australia is concerned. They will. McSweeney is the only batsman that you might see a replacement coming in, but otherwise I think they will go unchanged. So over to you, Abhijit.
So
Abhijit,
Australia. One thing is for sure. Now Australian bowlers know even if they get India all out for 100, they don't trust their batsmen to overtake that score. वो बात अभी clear हो गया है, ठीक है? India played.
अरे अभिजीत freeze हो गए.
Well, I think internet connection.
Internet. So, anyways, I'll give my viewpoint.
As of today.
आ गए. अभिजीत आपको वापस बोलना पड़ेगा, आप freeze हो गए. आपका ऑडियो आ रहा है.
So what Australian bowling attack will know that even if they get all out for 100, if they get India all out for 100, they are not sure whether the batsman will be able to score more than 100. Okay, because they just saw Bumrah, a rookie debutant pacer, and an out of form pacer. Those three of them bundled them out less than 150.
अभिजीत सॉरी, आपका
So Australia will be.
आपका कनेक्शन थोड़ा बैड है. आप कैन यू रीजॉइन प्लीज? और आपका कनेक्शन बहुत ही पुअर है. आप रीजॉइन कर लीजिए प्लीज. Anyways, so I'll take a few things on my this thing. So one is that I think Sharma will play. I believe that he'll play. So Sharma, Gill का तो ठीक है. Gill I think is today Adam Gilchrist mentioned that while he was walking up, he met Gill and Gill said, "I'm fine. I mean, I should be okay. I'll play the match." So the way I look at it is Gill and Sharma will play. That's what I feel.
And Gill comes for who?
Gill comes for Padikkal and Sharma comes for Padikkal.
Sharma.
And but the thing is that Sharma will open, I feel. But let's not forget one thing, that Sharma, on all these things, even whatever has happened, Sharma will also go through the grind. And what Rahul did to change, just before the test match started, Rahul got out in a very ridiculous way, and it became a meme, a spin which came like a full toss, dropped in, and then he got out and all, it became meme. But they played him. So because he did the grind, and I think Rohit Sharma will also do the grind and stay there. And what I feel is that Adelaide is a day and night match. There is a twilight zone where the ball moves heavily. It just gets a bit heavy and then it just zips through, which is also a factor. So I would like to see Akashdeep playing. But how they're going to fill in the full combination, I don't know. By the way, this guy Ashwin has a terrific record in Adelaide. He's picked up 6 wickets in 2018. He picked up another 6 wickets in 2021. So he's done both. Ashwin has a very good record. But let's mind this also that Ashwin has slowed down a bit because of his age and all those stuff. So those things are also there. So because they might want to play him in Melbourne and Sydney also. So I don't know what is the thinking. 10 दिन है, so they would think and do it. But my biggest change which I want, बाकी का मुझे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. I would like to see Akash Deepan. That's my only thing which I really want. Otherwise, I really don't care कि बाकी कौन खेल रहा है नहीं.
And who he replaces? Akashdeep. You Harshit Rana after this.
Harshit Rana, yeah. I will
That might
replace.
be a tough call.
Yeah, it's a tough call, but see, the thing is, and again, it's all about what's happening in the nets. But I think Akash Deep का जो zip है ball पे, in those light and all those stuff, it really helps. It really
क्योंकि
helps.
Nitish I think has bought his place after
Yeah,
what he has
Nitish
done.
is
मुझे
playing.
लगता है
Nitish
कि
is playing.
उसने जगह बना ली अपनी
बना
at
लिया
least
है.
for the next test.
Yeah. Right, अभिजीत अभी आप पे हाँ, you continue.
So, so what I was saying is that, the Australian bowlers now know that even if they get India all out for 100, the Australian batsmen शायद 100 भी ना पार कर पाए, because even with, an out of form Siraj, a debutant Harshit Rana, they could not overtake 150. What 150? They barely scored 103 runs. So there will be skepticism in the
83 ऑल आउट
Australian
होता
camp.
था, 83 ऑल आउट होता था, वो ऋषभ पंत कैच पकड़ लेता था.
Panth का कैच था. Although
इतना मेरा
that aside,
इतना सुकून मिलता वो डबल डिजिट देख के मुझे.
but that aside, Rishabh Pant had a 6 on 5 behind the stumps. He was terrific behind the stumps with the ball moving around and all that. Now, I actually trust this management for selection. All the selections they did, even in the New Zealand tour, they picked up Washington Sundar when Ashwin was in the team. Imagine, Vince, they are sending a message that, boss, there's a better off spinner in the country. And that worked. They got a Nitish. Monday Monaco kept saying Nitish Reddy is a star, he should play. Nitish Reddy has been a star in this match. Harshit Rana, they backed him. Harshit Rana has given us the ball equivalent to Irfan Pathan dismissing Gilchrist in 2004. Same emotion, same cheek. हम सब के मुंह से निकला होगा when he castled out, Travis said. I trust the team management with the selection. I think they may tinker with the bowling part. I think I'll leave it to them. Batting, I completely agree with Amit as well as with Rajiv that Rohit is one of the most selfless guys in Indian cricket. He may himself set out, and that may be a good decision. Why I'm backing Padikkal is, we forget that why we lose matches is because of the 2 hours of bad cricket. ये हमारा history है, 2 hours of bad cricket. That 36 test match, actually we were dominating. We dropped 6 catches and still we had a 56-run lead. Okay, that 2 hours of bad cricket is. Padikkal is one guy who can stop that. See, we all three of us will agree that India bat well when the ball is 25 overs on. We need a person out there people out there who can, go with minimum damage 25. Even in first innings, Padikkal made, I think, 2 runs of 23 balls. I saw it as, boss, उसने 4 over नया ball का खेला है. That's the way I saw it. Similarly, second innings, he played some 70 odd balls. I saw it, boss, इसने 12 over, and he played 4-5 overs of the new ball also. I said, imagine after Padikkal went out, there was a mini collapse. Pant went out, then I think Jaiswal went out. It was a mini collapse of uselessly we were throwing out wickets. That's where I feel Padikkal is a guy who stays there, who puts a price tag on his wicket. I don't want another 36. I think that is the only thing which stops us from, thrashing Australia all through this assessment. Our bowling attack is better on form. Our bowling bench strength is much, much better than Australia's. Our catching is much better than Australia's. Australia dropped some real sitters, actually. It is only the batting. If we sort out our batting, nothing can stop us in this series. Rajiv.
Yeah, in fact, I had one thing to tell that India made Australian bowlers bowl 108 overs or something. We bowled 45 in the first innings, 45 odd, I think, and then now also 55 odd, 60 overs.
Australia bowled 134 overs in the second innings.
Yeah,
It is the highest they have ever bowled to
correct.
any
So
team.
उनको बहुत भगाया हमने. So
I
these
I
guys did not
actually
get so tired. They got them out
yeah,
in the right
I
time.
actually didn't want India to declare. I wanted
हाँ.
India to play till today, lunch, post lunch. Boss, Virat needs runs. If I prefer Virat 160 out than 101 not out. Reddy, Rana were all taken for batting. Boss, जितना भी नेट्स कर लो, actual match practice nobody can do. एंड बॉस ऑस्ट्रेलिया अगले दिन फिर से निकल रहा, तब तक 150 ओवर बॉल कर चुका होगा, फिर निकल रहा, पता नहीं है डिक्लेयर कब करेंगे, इतना मार रहे, 600 700 रन बना दिया, अब क्या करेगा, इट वुड हैव बीन अ डिफरेंट थिंग. And Travis
But
head then would not have got this much
नहीं नहीं,
runs
बट
because he would have played
ये
in a
फोर्थ टेस्ट या
much.
फिफ्थ टेस्ट होता तो ऐसा होता फर्स्ट टेस्ट में they want to
but
win.
you but Rajiv, you see the shift in India's overall weight, the way India is throwing its weight now.
Yeah.
There was one point of time when uh, this guy Labuschagne started bowling outside the leg stump wide balls to Nitish
Yeah.
Reddy. The umpire stopped him and said, "You can't do
Yeah,
that." And
yeah,
next two balls, Nitish dispatch on the mid wicket boundary for six.
Six.
I mean, imagine. I mean, मतलब जैसे they are so cornered that the umpire is not even letting them go. He's saying, "You stay in the bout and get hit." So
Yeah.
it is that. Look
it
at the kind
is.
of weight the
It is.
Indians are throwing. I mean, that scene was miraculous. You're so used to
True,
your Steve Buckners and everyone just pulling down India all the time in Australia
true, true, true,
and
true.
winning matches on their own without even the opposite team playing. And today you see the situation where umpire saying you can't bowl that, and then he dispatches him for six. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So
Terrific
we
observation.
just
Yeah,
have 1 minute. So I'll close with, do you have an, because ये मेरे को डालना है कि चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी के बारे में कुछ तो वन लाइनर आप हमें बोले, आप हमारे पास 1 ही मिनट है.
So हाँ तो एक ही मिनट है तो I think the news was that there is a meeting tomorrow, but it is not happening tomorrow. I think Pakistan is currently in the state of negotiating with India. I think the latest news is they are kind of agreed for the hybrid model and are requesting the final to be hosted in Lahore, to which India is saying no also. So it has just come to a situation that India is saying no, even that is not possible. So it has come to that. It is going to go to voting, and you know what is going to happen in the voting. I don't think anybody needs to know
Yeah, we all
what
know
is
what
the
is
outcome.
happening.
So the good part is, see, I think the way I look at this, and since we have only 1 minute, I think even Pakistan wants this to go to voting. I'll tell you the reason why. Because they want that when the voting happens, they can at least go back to the country and say that, listen, guys, we fought tooth and nail. We went to the last minute. We kept saying no. अब voting हो गई है, so we have to accept it, and they
Accept
will at
what
least
is
have a
happening.
face-saving situation.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that is the eventual way that I see this unfolding in the next 3 4 days.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you for doing this. I also wanted to talk about IPL, but maybe later.